Hey everyone, it's Steve from the garden. In this video, I'm going to be getting my seed potatoes ready for planting in April. And then we'll also go on and check on the peppers and the broccoli I started a couple weeks back to see how we did on germination and where the plants are right now. Starting with the seed potatoes, I have 40 10-gallon root pouches outside that I plant my potatoes into. And the seed potatoes I'm going to be planting in are the ones I carried over from last year. For the most part, those are going to be Kennebec, but there's also some Superior that are mixed in there too. Both those varieties are very universal as far as how you want to prepare them. You know, whether you want to make mashed potatoes or brown potatoes or turn them into fries, they're good for all that. And what I'm looking for in terms of my seed potatoes is I want them to be between, say, 1.8 and 2.2 ounces each. And if they're bigger than that, and I want to use those, and I'll cut them up to get the size down to where I want it to be. Since I'm carrying most of the potatoes over from last year, a lot of them have already started sprouting. Like here's some Superior that started sprouting already. And this is one of the Kennebec. The sprout might be a little bit big, but I'm going to get it out here in the light now instead of having it in the dark, so that I can just put them off on the side. Now I have my food scale on here. So all I have to do is take my seed potato, put it on there, see how much it weighs. Like this one's 1.7. It's close enough to 1.8. I can just use it as is. There's another one. This one's got 2 sprouts on it. I can put it on there. Now this one's 2.7. So this is one I could cut down. But if I cut it in half, it's probably going to be a little bit too light. So maybe I'll just look for another one that's in the right weight range. This one's 2.3 ounces and it's got just the 2 eyes, although it looks like there's maybe a third eye that's starting right here. So I'll go ahead and keep that one. If I do find one where it's too heavy and I want to cut it in half, like this one's got 4 eyes, so you got 2 here, 2 here. Actually there's a fifth one that's starting right here. So I'm just going to take my knife and cut it roughly in half. So this is what these potatoes look like on the inside. Right, so that's 2.5 ounces on there, and that one's 2.5 ounces, so that's perfectly balanced. And I'll leave these so that this cut surface is kind of exposed to the air, and that way it'll kind of like skin over, and then in a couple of weeks it'll be ready for planting. So I go through and weigh each of these out to kind of see where they're at. Since I have 40 root pouches, I plant 4 seed potatoes per root pouch, 2 at like a 1/3 level and 2 at like the 2/3 level. So with 40 root pouches, I'm going to need 160 seed potatoes to go in. So it's just a matter of going through each of these seed potatoes, kind of weighing them, see if they're close to my target range, and if they are, I just put them in the tray here until I have enough. Now even though my target weight is like 1.8 to 2.2 ounces, you know, I don't need to be like totally right on that amount for this to work. You know, if they're close is good enough. Now, I didn't have to do anything special to get these ones to chit. You know, I just left them in the garage over the winter time. That kept them in a good storage temperature. It was right around, you know, mid-January or so is when I got to the point where I didn't feel I could continue using any of these potatoes. So then I let them all be potential seed potatoes at that point. But now that we're getting close to planting time, you know, I do want them to chit like this. This is a really nice one. And I'm just getting them out into the light at this point so that they don't get all, you know, like long and stringy. It's this kind of thing that I don't want for the potatoes to have, is where they get all these like little strings and roots and these long stems like this. So this is one I would not use. Or if I did want to use it, basically I would rub this off, just take that part off and leave these small chits in place. Now if your seed potatoes hadn't started chitting yet, then now would be the time to get them out to the light so that they can get exposed to light and start that chitting process. I got the first tray filled, so I'll put this tray out to the side and start a new tray. I have my 2 trays of seed potatoes set aside. I didn't actually count to see if I had 160 in there or not. I'll figure that out a little bit later. But we'll come back in, like, say 3-4 days just to check on the potatoes I did cut, and I'll show you how they like skin over so that they're ready for planting. But for now, let's go ahead and check on those seeds we started a couple weeks back and see how they're doing. So this is where we're at with the plants. The broccoli all did well, even though these seeds are on the older side. These ones that are here are on the back 2 cells. These are ones I pulled out from other cells and moved them to the back because these were empty originally. The celeries I transplanted are all doing well. I don't actually need 12 celery plants, and I'll just keep the best 6 when I plant them outside. The others, maybe I can give them away to someone else if they want them. The Santa Fe, I had 4 plants come up, and 4 is all I need for this season, so I'll do nothing with those other than pot them up later on. The Habanada, these seeds did really well. Now these are descended from a very hot pepper, and very hot peppers tend to have lower germination and slower, germination times. They tend to germinate slower than the other peppers. But while these plants are a little smaller than the other ones, I got good germination and they all came up within a reasonable time frame of these other ones. So I think we're good on that. Now I do have 1 cell with 2 plants in it. I'll probably just relocate the one that's off on the side to this back cell. Again, not that I need 6 habanada plants, but I'll just choose my best ones when I go plant out in the garden. For the cayenne did really well. I actually had thinned some of these out because I didn't need more plants. Just keeping the best ones. And I don't even need 6 cayennes. I really just need like 2 or 3. And when I plant in the garden, again, I'll just choose my strongest ones. Early in cessation, that did really well too. And I don't need 6 of these early in cessation, but these I know I can give away. People like the sweet peppers when you give it to them. They don't necessarily like the hot peppers, at least not the people I know. But, we got good germination on those. And same with the jalapenos. I actually had really great germination on my jalapenos, and I relocated a couple to some bigger pots so I can go ahead and grow them out. But all these are coming up really strong and they're growing fast. Now the ones that didn't do as well were the paprikas, both the Alma and the Bulldog. I got like 3 Alma and 2 of the Bulldog. So I did go and reseed these cells so I can get more plants to get my 6 of each variety that I need for this year. It's been a few days since we cut up the potatoes, so let's go ahead and take a look at them so we can see what they look like now. So here's 2 that I cut up. They're not from the same potato, by the way. So you can kind of see there's like a skin now over top of this where this is going to close up and it's not going to allow something to get in there. And this is another one, same thing, it skinned over, so this is ready for planting. Now that my potatoes are well on their way to being ready for planting, I'm still about 3 weeks away from planting time, but they're ready to go. They're already chitting. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer those. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed, got something out of this, and we'll see you on the next one.